Hey there, I'm Riley from Sunnybank Family Practice. How can I help you today?
Yeah, hi. Can I book an appointment, please?
Yes, I can help you with that. First, can I get your first and last name? Please spell them out for me.
Yeah, my first name is Mary, Mary. Last name is Smith, Smith.
Thanks, Mary. And what's your date of birth?
January 1st, 1980.
Thank you. And what's your phone number?
0400 123 456.
Thanks. And what type of appointment do you need? And briefly, what's the main reason for the appointment?
Oh, I just need a standard appointment. I just need a new prescription.
Okay, Mary. So you need a standard appointment for a new prescription. What day are you hoping to come in?
I was hoping for next Monday at some point.
Okay, one moment while I check availability for next Monday. Okay, Mary, we have a couple of slots available next Monday. We have one at 7 a.m. and another at 8 a.m. Would either of those times work for you?
Um, do you have any other appointments that day or the next day?
One moment while I check the availability for Tuesday. Okay, Mary, on Tuesday the 9th, we have appointments at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Would either of those work?
Let's do 11 a.m.
Okay, so that's Mary Smith, born January 1st, 1980. Phone number 0400 123 456. Standard appointment for a new prescription on Tuesday, September 9th at 11 a.m. Is that all correct?
Yes, thank you.
One moment while I book that in for you. You're all set. We'll see you on September 9th at 11 a.m. for a standard appointment. Have a great day.
Pretty cool, huh? You can actually build these AI voice agents for yourself, or you can do them, or you can build them for other businesses and sell them for anything from $2,000 to over $20,000, depending on how complex and sophisticated they are. But I wanted to show you something else. We just saw how I spoke to the agent. It checked the availability. It made an appointment. So if we go to my calendar, you will see that I've got this appointment, which is standard for new prescription. And I also have the record updated in my database. So I went with Mary Smith. I don't know why it's gone with first name here. I have to check, but it's got the phone number, date of birth, type of appointment standard, and new prescription. So we've got everything. Now let's start unpacking. And if you want all the prompts, because I've worked really hard on these prompts, if you want all the templates, just come and join my AI Business Builders community and you will find the AI voice agent in the n8n library, and you can just click on it and get absolutely everything. Okay, now let's start with the first thing you need is a Twilio account. Twilio will allow you to buy a number that you can use for your country, and it will allow you to connect to ElevenLabs. So you can start for free. I'm not going to make another account, but all you need to do is put your details here and start an account pretty much straight away. And then once you are in, you will see your dashboard. Now, the first thing you need to do, and this will really depend on your country, you'll need to go into the regulatory compliance and actually set up a bundle. So you have to create a regulatory bundle. if you are in a country like Australia, you actually don't need one because we don't have the specific regulations and we can just buy a number and use it. If you're from the European Union, however, you definitely need it. I'm pretty sure you need it for America as well. But what happens is, and it kind of freaked me out because I signed up and then it takes about 24 hours. So the next day I get this email that my bundle has been rejected, and I'm like, what did I do wrong? So I open the email and they say, hey, there's nothing wrong, we just reject all bundles that from countries that don't need those bundles. We just keep them on file in case at some point there's some regulation that we need to use. So if that happens to you, don't worry about it. It's probably because you're from a country that doesn't need that bundle. But as I said, it takes about 24 hours or so, sometimes a lot less, sometimes a bit more. But once you are either rejected and have an email that you're good to go, or if you need to wait to get approved, once that happens, then you can actually buy a number. So you go to the manage here, you click on the drop down and you click on buy a number, and you will select the country you're from. I do not think you can buy numbers in a different country, especially if you're creating these bundles that have to be approved. They will not allow you to buy a number from another country. So you just find your country, pick a number, click on buy, and all you need to do is put your credit card. I'm not sure if they might charge me straight away, so I'm not going to click on the buy button, but basically you will click on buy, it will take your credit card and it will buy this number from you. Once you have that number, now I'm gonna go to my active, you can find that number in a few places. You can find your number here, and you can find your number here in the active numbers. Some people have more than one number, so you may have to go and check each one of those numbers. But let's go back to the dashboard, and once you have that, then the next thing you need is an ElevenLabs account. And I'm pretty sure you can start for free and build your agent, or if you cannot, the next best thing is $5 a month, which is absolutely nothing. So I already have an account, but you'll go through here and get your own account, and I'm just going to log in. And once you sign up for your account, or if you already have an account, you log in, make sure that on the left hand side here you are in the agents platform. And the first thing we're going to do is we can connect a number before we even create an agent. So I'm going to click on phone numbers, and I'm going to click on import a number. And as you can see, Twilio has made it super easy. So we're going to click on Twilio. You can give it any name you want. Then make sure that you select your own country, which for me is somewhere up the top here. Where are you? Australia. All right, the next thing we need to do is add our number. So if I go back to Twilio, here is my number. Let me just go to active number so you can see it better. Okay, so what you need to do is, do you see that +61 is the country code? You already have the country code here, so you don't need to copy and paste it because it will give you an error. So anything after that, actually in here, because you don't want any spaces. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to paste it. Okay, the next thing you need is the Twilio account SID. So I'm going to click on enter account SID, and you're going to find this in your dashboard. Now, I'm not too worried that my SID is going to be seen because I'm going to release this number as soon as this tutorial is finished. So I am really not too worried. So I'm going to grab my account SID, And once you, oops, yep, it says a stored token will be used. If the token has changed, please delete the secret Twilio token account from your workspace settings. Okay. And I'm going to click on import. Now, what happened right now is I couldn't show you everything. So let me see if I can change. I don't think I can change that. But what I wanted to show you is, so I'm going to add another number. I'm just going to add another number just for the fun of it. I'm just going to type something. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna type something. But once you enter that SID, the reason with me it imported straight away is because I already have it, and it just when it saw that it's the same SID number, it did not even ask me. But if it's your first time, you also need to add your Twilio authentication token, which is right here. So this is what you need to grab and paste in here and then import. I'm not going to import now because it's going to give me an error. But basically this is it. And this is your number in ElevenLabs. Now, let's start building this agent. So you will go to the agents area on the left hand side where it says build agents, and you're going to start a new agent. I personally prefer to start with a blank agent because I want to work with an LLM like OpenAI or Claude or Gemini, whichever one is your favorite LLM, to create my own prompt. Because here's something super cool. ElevenLabs, when you go to their docs and agents platform and then go to best practices and prompting guides, it actually gives you exactly how you need to build the prompts for these agents. As you can see, it has these 6 building blocks, which are personality, environment, tone, goal, guardrails, and tools. I've seen a lot of people that are building them with different prompts, but this is how ElevenLabs wants us to build. And then in here, it tells you exactly how to build them. It gives you examples, for everything. So what I've done is I've created this prompt where I say, and again, this is in school. So if you're in my school community or if you want to come and join, you'll get that. But what I say is you're a technical prompt engineer. Your task is to write, analyze, and improve prompts for automation workflows and agentic workflows and training AI agents. I'm building an AI voice agent. And in here, I'm going to include exactly what I want it to be. When I was building the one we just played with, I said it's an medical non-clinical medical receptionist that just books new appointments. You can give it a lot more details if you want to, but in here you basically going to say who it is. So this is the agent I want to build with ElevenLabs. We're using the specific framework of 6 building blocks, and then I'm putting the building blocks here. Each system prompt component serves a specific function, so I grabbed that from ElevenLabs, and then I said here is the context, and I literally grabbed everything from here, including all the examples, and I put them in this one, prompt, and this is how I fed it into, I actually, for this specific agent, I worked with OpenAI, and it didn't work the first time. But that was a great way to start. And it started iterating. Now, the one thing that you'll be doing a lot with these agents is testing and iterating until it clicks and starts working. So this is the way to build those prompts. And what we're going to do is I'm going to actually open the agent I already have because I want to show you how it's built. But basically, otherwise you'll just click blank, give it a name and create an agent, and that's it. And before we start, let me just see if we are connected. Yep, we are connected. Right, everything is good. Anyway, I just want to make sure that you are connected to a phone number. But basically, when you look at the agent, you have agent workflow. I have not worked here for this specific agent. You have voice. So from here, you will pick your voice. I strongly suggest that you pick a voice that has your country's accent. Because it sounds like, I tried it with an American accent, and here in Australia it really sounds weird. But yeah, and if you're on a higher tier, you will get a lot more numbers. So the first thing is just pick your voice. And I didn't really do anything in here, but if you want to, you can play with it. We've got the analysis. I did not do anything in here. The test is in alpha. I have not done anything in here. Security. This is something that you will probably need to do if you're building production style agents, not for testing and playing, because at some point you want to protect your webhooks and you want to protect all the information flow. You've got the advanced, which is the timeout. I generally put it on -1. That means that it's never going to time out. And the silence and call timeout is also not something that I want right now, but because I want the caller to finish that conversation. I don't want my agent to hang up on somebody at some point in the middle of a conversation. So the turn timeout -1, and the silence and end timeout is on a -1. And that's about all I've done in here. I don't have any widgets for this specific agent. So we're going to be working here mainly. Make sure that you select your language, of course. If you want to set up any additional languages, so for example, if you're in Europe a lot of people speak a couple of languages at least, you can always do that. If you're somewhere in the south of the USA, maybe a lot of people speak Spanish as well, so you might want to just add a Spanish language as well. And the first thing we are going to do is just have the first greeting. Your agent will always say the same greeting, and mine was, "Hey there, I'm Riley from Sunnybank Family Practice. How can I help you today?" You can play with that as much as you want, but here's something that I want to show you. So I've worked in exactly the same way, and this prompt is pretty big, and it took me good 48 plus hours to make it actually work and to speak to me and to go through all the tools and everything to be fine-tuned so I can actually get the end result and to have the result we saw in the beginning. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is my personality, environment, some things that I did and I had to work with OpenAI is with these agents and with n8n generally, everything is in the UTS time, which is the universal time, whatever that is. So we all have to make sure that the agent calculates our specific time. So in here I said the current UTC time is, and I'm giving a variable, and this is the current system time in UTC. Actually, I didn't even know how to set it up. OpenAI did ChatGPT did it for me. And present and confirm all times in AST, Brisbane, UTC +10. So my city is 10 hours ahead of the UTC time. So these are little things that you will need to work with, because otherwise it will be booking things in the middle of the night for you. Very, very important. The tone, the goal. So I've worked really hard to kind of create it, to kind of create a personality that is friendly, that is bubbly, that is to the point, and all that. And then in our goal, so the goal is where we're actually telling it exactly what to do. So this is my whole flow of what happens. That's it. From here, from when somebody calls, what happens, how to check, what to ask for, how to search. Something that I noticed is that you need to do relative dates. For example, if, like when we were playing in the beginning, I said, hey, what about next Monday, next Tuesday? You need to resolve these relative dates to the current UTC time. Otherwise, it will keep asking you for a year and a month. And I couldn't understand why in the beginning. And then I actually worked with Claude first, and I couldn't get it. And even though I really love Claude for coding and stuff, but ChatGPT worked it out for me. So these are some things, and that's why I'm saying if you're in my school community, you will have access to this specific prompt, which then you can use for any other agent that you're creating, because some of these things will be universal for anything, especially if it is for looking at calendars and changing dates or booking dates or canceling dates. You will need all that. So that's why I'm spending so much time on that, because when I first started playing with it, it will tell me that it's booking at 1 o'clock, but when I look at my calendar, it's booking it at 8 o'clock at night, and things like this. So I'm also telling it which exact what data exactly I want. And if you remember, it asked me for my first and last name, for my date of birth, for phone number, type of appointment, which was standard, long, or telehealth, and any questions or concerns that I might have. Once I agree on a date. So this first thing is determine intent and safety. So if the call wants to book an appointment, continue. And it's asking what date and time, and then goes and looks into the calendar. If I say yes, like I said yes, and then the next thing is to confirm and book. And I wanted to perform one full read back, so it's gonna tell me my name, date of birth, phone number, chosen date, time, and all that. And because you always want your AI agent to confirm with the caller about any details. And on yes, it will create an appointment, and with the chosen start timestamp, patient name, phone number, and a short summary. Okay, and the last thing it will do after, so if we look in here, so this is the first thing. First it asked me about all the details, then went and checked availability, then came back and said, hey, these are the dates I have available. I said, oh, do you have another date? So it went and looked at Tuesday and said, yeah, I have Tuesday. And I said, okay. It asked me all the details, and then it went and made the booking. And after we said goodbye, so I don't need to do anything anymore for the third tool to run, and just create that log into the database. Where are we? We are right here. So the last thing is, after booking succeeds, call the log patient details tool, and then add those details. And the last thing is ask if anything else is needed. If not, in this case, we'll see you soon. Have a great day. Just close the call and wait for the because I don't have it so it can hang up. My agent waits for me to finish the call. The next thing is the guardrail. So this is like rules. This is what I want you to know. The scope, the safety, data minimization, and this is specifically for my for my agent. And then I have the tool discipline. Something that I really wanted was for each tool to follow a specific order. So the check availability can be called multiple times, like I did. I asked for Monday, I didn't like the times, and then went again and looked for Tuesday. So it can go backwards and forwards. Create appointment only after the caller selects a time and date. So I'm telling it, do not even start until the caller says, yeah, I'm good to go. And then the log patient's details tool is only executed once after successful booking. So this is something that I had a bit of a problem with, and until I actually started telling it, hey, these are the hard rules that you need to follow for each of those tools. And you can actually, these tool names, you can name your tools whatever you want. Just make sure that whatever you name your tool here, so this check availability tool here is the same as the check availability tool in your n8n automation. Everything that you do the same. So if all the names are the same, if the naming convention is the same, it's much easier for the LLM and for your agent in n8n to work with. I'm going to close this because I keep clicking on it. Okay, so basically, okay, the last thing that I didn't show you was the tools. So these are things and arguments and returns that OpenAI did for me, because I wanted to give it some specific examples. I think that ChatGPT did a phenomenal job, because as you can see, the check availability tool, it checks open appointment slots for a single date, and the argument is the date, and it's looking at year, month, date, and the return is available slots, and it is giving me I am giving it the formula to calculate from the UTC to Australian time. So you'll see the +10 here. And as I said, I did not code any of that. ChatGPT did it all for me. So the same with create appointments tool, start timestamp, patient name, then it's giving me the JSON that we can use, and some preconditions, which is only after the caller selects a time. Ensure the start timestamp still matches the value, which means that this start timestamp is the date that we're making the booking for. And the last tool is the log patient details tool, which transfers the final confirmed patient data into the database. And this is exactly what I want to pass on to my n8n tool in here to log it into Airtable. So basically, this is the prompt that I'm copying and pasting here. Something that you will find is when you're playing with dates, this system time UTC will pop up here. And then you will have to actually give it the proper system time UTC way of showing the date. Otherwise, it's just not going to save, which is super annoying. Another thing I noticed is because I'm using OpenAI here, and I thought maybe it's a good idea to use OpenAI in my agent, and then it wouldn't work. So I had to switch back to Gemini 2.0. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just me, but for me, it just didn't work. The next thing is down here in the tools, The only thing I selected was skip turn. So that means that agent will skip its turn if user explicitly indicates they need a moment. So it will sit and wait until you come back. For example, if I was in a country where I had to give my insurance number and I didn't have it, and I said, oh, let me go and find my insurance number, it will sit and wait. Now we are going to set up these tools. As you can see, in our tools, I decided on the names of my tools. As I said, this is entirely up to you. I like to name my tools so I know what they do. I don't like to give them fancy names because then I forget what they do. So mine are very easy to remember and follow with my n8n nodes. But basically, these are the 3 tools in n8n that we want our agent to use. So the first one is a calendar, which is, in my case, is a Google Calendar, super easy to set up, and it checks availability. The next tool is again the create appointment, a calendar tool that creates an appointment, and the last tool that is log patient details is an Airtable create or update. So what we're looking at here is if after I've given my details to the agent, this tool will go and have a look at the date of birth, the first name and the last name in Airtable, and if this record matches, if these columns match somewhere, it will just go and update the rest of the record with whatever we need to update, like the reason why we're going to the doctor. All right. Now let's start opening each one of those. So the very first tool is our check availability. We're going to give it a name. The method is post, and we're going to grab this URL from our webhook here. You should test it first, and remember I said that you cannot run the whole automation if it's not active, but you need to start testing because you need to start getting this data to start mapping out your tools. So we're going to stick with our test URL. You're going to copy and paste. We're going to copy it from here and paste it into this URL. Some other things that you will need to do if you're doing if you're doing agents that will be in production is add headers. So I don't know if you've seen any of my, if you've seen the video on YouTube or in school where I'm showing you how to protect your webhooks, but basically with a webhooks like this that have no authentication, you leave yourself open to hackers. So what we can do is we're going to have a header authorization, and in here I'm pretty sure I created one somewhere. Oh, ElevenLabs agent, yeah. So this is my header authentication, and once you set it up, and literally you can set it up as anything you want, you'll just click on create new credential, and you're going to give it a name, whatever name you want, and then you're going to give it a value, again, whatever you want, and then you're going to take that name and value and transfer it in here. A name, sorry, it's not going to be secret, it's going to be a value, so it's going to be a name and a value, and this will allow you to actually protect all your tools and your webhooks and your agent. If you're just playing with it, you don't really need it. Okay, the next thing we need, in here we need to give a description. So basically the check availability tool returns the availability for the given timestamp. If there's availability, the tool will return true. Then we're going to give a description for the body. So we need to give all these properties, which is all the details that we need this tool to collect. So this is, here's what I say here, important context for the check availability tool. And I am telling it, in this case, we're only collecting two things: the timestamp that will be checked for the availability in the calendar, and the tool. You always need to have the tool as a property in your tool, even though you've already made it into a tool. Don't know why. So our first parameters is that timestamp, and I kind of copy and paste this bit here, like not all of it, but I kind of make it a bit short and put it as a description because the property, so this is a string, this property is a string, the identifier is a timestamp, this is what we want, the timestamp, and the description, which I grabbed from here. The next thing is our tool. So this is this tool that we are using, the check availability tool, which is a string as well. The identifier is a tool, and this is it's a constant value. It means that this will not change. Like this one will change because the prompt, the LLM prompt, will give us a different variable every single time. And the constant value is just the name of that tool. That's all. And then you can save it. So I'm going to clear that and I'm going to come out. The next tool that we need to set up is the create appointment tool. This one will collect a little bit more data. So again, we have the same method post, exactly the same webhook. The name is create appointment. The description is this tool creates an appointment for the given timestamp and patient details. Again, if this is a production agent, you'll put the headers in here. And the description, so in here, I'm actually grabbing a lot more stuff. Grabbing the first name, which is the patient's first name, the last name, the phone number, the summary, which is short label for the type of appointment, the start timestamp. So this is the start timestamp is the beginning of the confirmed appointment. And again, I have the tool. So we've got the tool, which is again a constant value, and this is the name of the tool from up here. Always make sure that you've got the correct names everywhere, because when I was building it at first, because I was doing this and then I was doing that and that, I was having names everywhere. So once I got the prompt I wanted, I put it through ChatGPT one last time and I said, can you please check my naming convention and help me? And it found like 4 or 5 errors, and you really don't want to have errors with names because it is important. So basically what we're going to do is we have 1, 2, 3. So we got first name, last name, phone number, summary, start, timestamp, and tool. So we have about 6 properties, and they are all strings. They're all LLMs. The description is what I grabbed from here. And make sure that the names are exactly as they are in here, because these are the proper names that we're passing on. So we don't want to have last underscore name, and in here to have like just last name as one word. Okay, so everything in here, I'm not going to go through everything and bore you to death, but everything in here, so make sure that the identifier is exactly the same as up here. Make sure that you've got the description, and everything is a string except in our case the phone number, which is a number. That's it. And again, I'm going to close this. And the last one is the log patient details. Now in here, again, same name, description, same webhook. Make sure the headers are up if it's production. In here, I actually grabbed absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. And I created properties for everything. I think in here I have about 8 properties. So this is how you build those tools. You are going to give it a name, a description, hook it to the webhook, give the description in the body, and the more explicit you are in here, the easier it will be to set up the properties, because each one of those entries is a property. Super easy to set up once you have it in the description. That's it. So from our agent's point, we are done. The next thing we need to do is to build up the rest of this agent here. So we have the webhook and the respond to webhook nodes. Don't forget, if you're in my school community, you're getting this template anyway, but make sure that I'm going to remove that because otherwise it's not gonna work. Make sure that the respond is using respond to webhook, not immediately. That's not gonna work. And then we need to add the agent in the middle. And to this agent, we're going to add an LLM. In my case, I have OpenAI. You're welcome to choose any LLM you want. I'm giving it a simple memory. I have a 10, my window length is 10. It would depend on the types of conversations your agent has. So this could be 10, it could be 20, it could be 50. You'll need to check and play with it. I decided to give it a think node because I wanted to think through every step of the conversation. You don't have to. I've seen a lot of people that don't use it. And then we are going to add our 3 tools. In my case, just the calendars and the log patient. But let's open this AI agent and show you. So the very first thing I did is actually, let me just close this, and I'm going to just start this for a moment because I want to grab the data from the webhook. Okay, so I just quickly ran it in a test mode because I wanted to get all the data here to show you how to set it up. So the very first thing is your simple memory needs to be linked to the information from the webhook. So if we go in here and we go mapping, sorry, this is where we need to be. And we need to grab the ID, so the session ID of this conversation. And you will find this. Where is it? Where is it? You will find it. Yep, right here. So this is the one, CF-Ray. This one here. So if I go in here and I go down and I'm going to map exactly the same thing. There you go. So this is what you need. You're looking for CF-Ray. This is your session ID. Very important. Otherwise, the memory will not log the conversation. Your OpenAI, as I said, you don't need to do anything in here. The think node also doesn't need any mapping. Where we need some mapping is in our AI agent, which is this stringifiable data to pull out the timestamp, and that's the very first timestamp from the conversation, and the tool is check availability. So basically we are pulling this bit here from the body. This is the bit that we're pulling with this stringified expression. And this is the only thing we have in our user prompt, the request data, which means that it will return the dates that are available. Our system message, however, is pretty big. So basically we're giving it a role that it's an AI agent responsible for handling the back office operations at a medical practice, and that it has to make decisions. Again, you can screenshot this and use it, or you will get it with the rest of the templates in my school community. And these are some of the things that I wanted to pay attention. So I'm telling it that it has secure access to these internal tools. So think, this is the think, where is it? This is the think node. Also the check availability, which is the calendar, the create appointments, which is the other calendar, log patient details, which is the Airtable. Again, I did this whole prompt with ChatGPT, so it's not too hard. I have some special instructions. When handling availability requests, always aim to return to available time slots. So it's kind of similar to what we have in our agent, but a little bit different. So we need to be both similar and a little bit different because they both handle the tools a little bit different. But as you can see, everywhere I'm trying to make sure that it is looking at the correct time and calculating the correct time. That's really, really important. And I found this the hard way because I was constantly getting bookings in the middle of the night. So this is the agent. And then these three tools, they're so easy to set up. I'm going to open one. So here's what is happening. The calendar, with Google Calendar specifically, the first thing we want to check is the availability. So the resource is a calendar and the operation is availability. You're going to choose your calendar, and in here the starting time, all we need to do is we need to click on this magic button here, and the AI will define automatically by the model. So you don't really need to do anything here except giving the description, and these descriptions I got from the tools here. For example, if we go to our check availability tool, we have the timestamp. So this is the time and the timestamp for the appointment. There you go. The start time for the appointment. The same end time. So with the calendar, we're looking at start time and end time. This is what we're looking at. And again, the end time I'm defining automatically by the model, and my description is the end time will always be the start time plus 1 hour. This is what I decided to do. You can play with this a little bit depending on how big your appointments are and so forth. And the other thing that is important to put in is your time zone. And when you click in here, you can just find the time zone for your city and country. The next one is just the same, the create appointment one. We are, this time the resource is event, not a calendar, because now we're going to actually book an appointment, and the operation is create. Again, we're setting up, selecting our calendar. The start time, again, is defined automatically by the model. The description is start time for the appointment. You should assume this is in AEST Brisbane timestamp. And that's important. And then the end, again, we're doing exactly the same thing with the other one, just giving it a tiny little bit of a different description. So the description is end time for the appointment. This should be 15 minutes after the start time. This will be in the AEST Brisbane time. So if your appointments are half an hour, this will be 30 minutes. If it's 1 hour, it will be 1 hour. And the summary, this is basically what we asked in here in the create appointment. Let me find it. In the summary is just the type of appointment. So this will just tell what type of appointment to put in here. So it's a standard appointment. Where are we? Yeah, so in the summary, it generally said the appointment time and basically what we want to see the doctor for. And the last thing is our Airtable tool. Again, everything is being defined automatically by the model. I'm going to show you again. So in here, this is defined by the model. I did not write this expression. I just clicked on here, let the model define this parameter, and it did. Now, in my case, I'm creating or updating a record. I've got my base, I've got my table in my base, and then we want to map each column manually. In my case, I want to look for columns that have, and that's what people in medical clinics will do. They'll look at the date of birth date, the first name and the last name to try and match it to their record. So this is kind of how I decided to match. So if these are matched, it's only going to look and update specific things. If not, it will add every single detail. And as you can see, the descriptions are very, very simple. Date of birth is date of birth. Last name. So these are the fields in my Airtable that were populated when I selected my table. And that's it. It's super, super easy. As I said, there's no expressions to do. The AI is doing absolutely everything for you. All you need to do is write the descriptions. And that's it. It's, as I said, it's very powerful. It doesn't look as much when you look at it like this, but combining this back end with this front end and all the setups we've done, it becomes a very, very powerful AI agent. Now, another thing that could be done that will, take it 100x is if this is a knowledge base agent. So if this is not just a booking agent, but if this is a customer support agent and you hook it to a RAG, now it becomes a serious contender in the agent space. So this is it for me. If you want to grab all the goodies from today's videos, come and join my school community. If not, I'll see you next time.